hope all of you can see my screen. We learned about a few data types yesterday. Do you remember that? About all these data types. What is a numerical data type? All the numbers, whether they are integers or decimals. And then there are string data types where you will have text, you have char, varchar, enum, and then date and time. These are all the data types. Now, why did we learn about these data types? In a given table, there can be different columns, and each column can have a different data type. So, for those columns, we have certain functions. Let's say in the payment table, you have payment ID, you see numerical data in it. Customer ID is also numerical, staff ID. These will be all integers. And rental ID, this that is integer. Amount will be in decimal or float because you see a decimal value there. And these are all the dates. This is entire timestamp because it has a date and the time as well. Now, on this amount column, I want to perform some calculation. Uh, what did we do when we were doing arithmetic operators? Do you remember arithmetic operators? We learned something about arithmetic operators, didn't we? Or let's say, if not this table, let's look at the rental rate from the film table. In this arithmetic operator, let's say if I want to increase the rental rate multiplied by 2. I mean, increase the rental rate, I just want to double the rental rate. Okay, so I would multiply it by 2. So these are all your arithmetic operators, whether I'm multiplying, dividing, plus, minus, anything that you are doing, that is your arithmetic operator. So these arithmetic operators you perform on each row of the table. Can you all confirm if you can hear me clearly? Is my voice clear now?
Yes.
Is it very low or okay? All right. Okay. So here I'm performing all the arithmetic operators. We did this already. On the same column, I want to perform use any other arithmetic operator. I can do that. Same way, I'm going to perform some functions now. Till now, whatever we did, those were all operators, and operators can only be used with where. Okay, you did comparison, logical, um, membership, or yesterday we did like operator. All those can be written only with where. Arithmetic operators can be written in select, they can also be written in where. But now what are we going to do? We are going to learn some functions that can be performed on any any of these columns based on the data type. What are functions? These are some inbuilt functions are some activity that you want to perform on that particular column. Let's say I want to uh, raise this rental rate to the power of 2. Rental rate column is there. I want to say rental rate square. Okay, so such functions. Maybe this is a decimal value. For this, have you ever done this that you have, if this value is there, would you round it off? Will you not round it off to 23? So such functions are what we are going to learn in numeric functions. Now in this, let's say if this is the rental rate column, I want to round off the values. If it's 0.99, I'll just round it off to 1, isn't it? Or if it is 4.99, I'll round it off to 5. So for that, there are certain functions in SQL. One of those is round. So now, when you write functions, you should always write it with a parenthesis. These round brackets, these are called as parenthesis. Any function that you are writing, parenthesis is required. It's like you are giving a command for SQL to do there, okay, on that particular column. So round of rental rate. So it rounds it off to the nearest value. If this was 4.01, it would have rounded it off to 4. Since this is 4.99, it is rounding it off to 5. You can also do one more thing. Maybe you don't want to entirely remove all the decimal values. You want to keep the decimal values, but you want to keep only one decimal value. So you want to keep 0.9, 4.9. That also you can do here. You will write round for that, rental rate. But after this, what you'll do, you'll give comma 2 or comma 1, because I want one of the rental rates from, I mean, one of the decimal values there. Okay, so it will keep one decimal value, it will not remove it entirely. Did you all understand what is round doing here? How to use round?
Yes, got it. What if the value is 1.50?
That's, you have to think of the number line. If it is 1.5, it will take it to 2 only. So we can try this without the table also, we can try. Okay, so here 1.5, it will round it off towards the highest value, higher value. Okay,
Okay.
if it is below 1.5, I mean the zero point 0.5 thing, you know what a number line is, I hope. So here it is 0 and sorry, zero point 0.5, let's say. Here it will be 0.1, 0.01, so anything before this 5. If it is above 5 here, it will be moving it towards the higher value. If it is below zero point 0.5, then it will be moving it towards the lower. Which function am I talking about here? I'm talking about only round. Okay, when I'm using round, it will round it off towards the nearest value, that's all. But let's say even if it is 1.99, what do you think it should round it off to? If it is 1.99,
2.
2, right? But let's say I don't want it. I want it to round it off to 1 only. There is a function for that. There is a function called as floor. Okay, you will write 1.99 for that. Floor, floor is one of the functions. Floor will just round it off, round the value towards the lower side of it. Even if it is 1.99, ideally it should make it 2 only. But because I said I want to round it off to the lower side, so that's why it's making it 1. Let's say if the number is 1.01, what should this be rounded off to ideally? If I have to round it off completely, will it be 1 or will it be 2?
1.
1 only, right? Because it's 1.01. That 01, I would consider that as negligible. But no, let's say I want to make it as 2 only, towards the higher side. Then I can use this operator ceiling. You can either write CEIL or you can write ceiling completely. It will round it off towards the highest value. Round will round off to the nearest value. and the floor towards the lower value. Ceiling, did you understand the difference between all of them? You can apply all these to any columns also. So can you apply all these three to the amount column in the payments table and see how is it working? You won't see much of a difference between round and ceiling there, because the values are mostly 2.99, 4.99. So ideally it will round it off towards the highest value only. So just try it. All these three function, round, floor and ceiling, I want you to apply it on amount column in the payments table. There cannot be a proper use case of this alone. I mean, why would I round off any value in any column generally, right? I mean, there's no need of a function in that case. But if I'm using it with any other functions or any other of keywords in SQL, we will be doing that as we go ahead. But for now, this is, let's just learn it as what do you say, a standalone function. So let me know once you have written the query. I want you to use payment table there. Here I haven't used any table. I just gave random values here. I want you to use it along with the payment. Yes. Did everybody do it? To the amount column, you'll apply round, floor, and ceiling. Let me know once you're done. Okay. How about Fazal and Qayyum? Were you able to do it? Just write it down. So round, amount, floor, amount, from the payment table. Okay. But what if I want to keep one decimal value there? So instead of completely making it an integer with this round, what should I do if I want to keep one decimal value? What can I do? I'll just give a comma and I'll give the number of decimal values I want to keep. Okay. For example, how will this work? Let's say if I have a number. Okay, such a big number is there. I want to keep only two decimal values, 32.15. So what will I do? I'll give round. After the number, I'll give 2. So based on that, it will just keep two decimal values. So you can use round like this also. That this comma 2 will be used for that. Is it clear? These three numeric functions, round, ceiling, and floor. So these were three. There are more. I'll give you the ones that are mostly used, and then I'll give you the list of those values also, functions also. Now, like I told you, if I want to probably see two, okay, I want to raise 2 to the power of 2, right? 2 square, 2 to the power of 5. Power is one of the functions again. It's also a numeric function. Since I'm calling it a numeric functions, remember you have to apply it only on numeric columns where there are numbers, where there are, what do you say, decimal values or integer values. So let's say film ID from film. These are numeric columns. It's not a use case to raise film, probably write square of film ID. It's not a proper use case, but just to understand the function, let us do it. So you will write power, you will write film ID in bracket. Power is also a function, so it comes in the parenthesis. So comma 2. Whatever you write after comma with power, you are raising that column to the power of that number. Something similar we did it in round, but in that case it's a different, completely different use case. Here you are raising this to the power of 2, raising each film ID to the power of 5. You all know what power does, right? If I write 2 square, how, what is the calculation there? If I say power of 2 comma 2, what's happening here? Is it doing this, right? If,
Yes,
Yes.
and if I give 3,
2 into 2 into 2.
yeah. Right? So that is what power does. That's exactly what's happening here. So for the film ID, I want to raise to the power of 5. This is what it will come. So power is one of your numeric functions. Another numeric function would be absolute. Do you know what's an absolute value? Ever heard of this term absolute value?
Exact value.
Not exact value, but the, let's say if you have a negative number, you want to convert it into a positive value, you say it's an absolute value of that. So here you can use absolute is also one of the functions. So let's say the value is negative minus 125. So if I use absolute as the function, it will change it to the positive value. These are all your numeric functions. We did floor, we did ceiling, we did round, we did power. Yeah, we can also do square root. Do you all know what square root is? Absolute just converts this negatives to positives. What about square root? Do we know what square root does? If I say square root of 25, what will that be?
5 into 5.
5 into 5, right? So this will be 5. Value that you get there is 5. Similarly, if I do 18, no, 49. Do we have a square root value there? Right? Now, similarly, you can perform all these on any of these column also. When I write it with rental rate from Feb, you get a very big decimal value. Okay, this is the exact value, so there's no point doing a round of it. But still, I'll show you, just to show you how to use multiple functions together. Did you understand this? What happened here? Is this clear till here?
Yes.
Square root of rental rate column from the film table. As simple as that. Now, because there are so many decimal values, I just want to have two decimal values there. What should I do? I should ideally use round. But to what should I apply round? Before square root. To the output of this, I want to apply round. Right? So how will I write it? Round of square root of rental rate. And if I just do round, it will remove all the decimal values, because I don't want to remove all the decimal values here. After rental rate, I'll give a comma 2. Oh, not here, sorry. After this, after the entire square root thing. Okay. Did you understand using multiple things together? Multiple functions together? This is only square root. Here I'm applying a round on the square root, the output of square root. These are all the multiple numeric functions. The ones which are very common, I have shown it to you. I'm very bad at mathematics, so I cannot explain you what cos, cot, or tan, all these things done. So if you know it, you can use them. Okay, the basic and the most useful ones we have done already, but then you can find all these functions also there. You will find it here on MySQL documentation. If you're searching for any query of MySQL, right? We have ChatGPT, of course, we can do that. But if you want to just check if there is anything in their documentation, you will properly go to its documentation. You have this MySQL developers. Don't go to any of the other blogs here. What will happen in those, if there is any outdated information, you will not be able to use those queries given here most of the times, because they will be updated. So if you want to find the updated functions and syntax, you will go to MySQL's documentation. Some of the times even ChatGPT might miss out the new, if there are any new updates. So you can find it here in this documentation. I'll add this on the LMS as well. For now, I'm sharing it here in the chat. Are all the numeric functions that we covered clear to everyone? Does anybody have any questions till now? Can I move to the next type of functions?
I guess yes.
Okay. Okay. What is the next data type? Apart from numeric data types, what do we have? We have string data types also. So now what we will do, we will do some string functions. In string functions, one of the functions would be, if you see, in all the tables where we have names, if you have noticed, first name and last name, they are given in different columns. Instead of that, what do I want to do? I want to add them in a single column. So this can be used, this particular function that I'm about to tell you, this can be used for numeric columns also, but mostly it is used with this string data only. What am I trying to do? Combining multiple columns. Combining multiple columns. For that, there is a word for combining. Have you ever heard this word, concatenate? Concatenate means combine. Okay, so this keyword that we are going to use here is concat. Now, what columns do I want to combine? I want to combine the first name and the last name. So in this parenthesis, I'll write first name, last name. Okay, but don't you think there's some issue with the output? The first name and last name, they are combined together. Is don't you think there should be a space as well? Because the name gets confusing otherwise. So I need some space in between those. What can we do? We can add that space as a string. Give quotes, empty quotes there. That means you're trying to add space. Now, if I give this, okay, now you see the names of the customers, first name, last name in a single output. Concat can be used like that. Now I want you to print, look at the address table. From the address table, combine all the columns to get a full address. Can you all do that? Use the address table and combine all the required columns to get the full address. You can say not just columns, it's actually combining strings also. So if you see this value that I have given in between, the empty space, I'm giving it as a string. Okay, some characters I'm saying. So the space here is a character. So that space I'm combining with the first name and last name. Not just a column. If I want to normally combine any value, like how I do it with numbers, here, any string. Okay, not just the columns. If I want to use any string also, I can combine it using concat. Is that the only thing from the address table that you would require? Nothing else? You can combine multiple values also. Can you try combining some other things? Is there an email column maybe or anything else? You not just two column, you can combine multiple columns or multiple strings. So try doing that. Your query is correct. I don't think there's any error in that. We can keep on adding some more columns there. Let's say apart from this, I want the full phone number. Is phone number in this or is it in the address table? In the customers table, there's email, there's no phone. Phone is in that. Okay, so you can add as many values as you want. You don't want to give a space, you can also give a comma in between. So just to explain that these two are different things. Right, that's correct. This would give you the full address. There's one more way to give space in between them. Okay, you can directly use the keyword space. How many spaces do you want to give? I want to give one space, I'll write one. After last name again, I want to give space here also, and I want to give one space. You can use it like this also, mentioning the space. Either give those empty strings or give a space. So here, since I wanted to use a comma, I'll not give space here. I'll give it as a string only. But to give space specifically, you have a function for that. Okay, so you might want to check the column names, the columns that you are using. Address, I think the other one is address two or something. But however, the query is correct. Make sure you're writing the columns also correctly. Concat clear to everybody? Understood what is concat? Meaning of the word concatenate is combining only. Okay, so what are we doing here? We are combining columns here. There's one thing I want all of you to notice when we are writing these functions. When I wrote the entire concat function, That entire function is coming as a column name in the output. Right? Did you notice this? Now that doesn't look good, does it? Let's say if I want to present this as a report, is this a good idea to present it like this? No. So what we can do, we can give a temporary name or an alias to the column. Do you know what is the meaning of the word alias? Temporary name or a nickname, can I call it? So that we can do in this as well. So after this entire thing, if I give an alias as customer details, customer details will be the column name. In this also I cannot give space. Okay, in the alias name also I cannot give space. It gives me an error. Either you write it together or you give an underscore here. Did you all understand alias as well? What is alias doing and what is this concat function? Can I get some confirmations? Right.
Can you explain this alias one more time, please?
Yeah. Alias will only give, so let's say if there is this entire concat function that I had written here. Okay. Now when I'm executing this value, this query, it gives me the entire function. Concat first name, last name, email. I concatenated it all. So what is it doing? It is giving me the entire function as the column name, right? So if I'm presenting, so this will be a report that I'm presenting to maybe probably a client or a stakeholder, right? So in that case, the column name doesn't look good here. Somebody who does not understand the queries, they'll not be able to understand what are we trying to present in this column. So instead of giving this entire function as the column name, we can give that column a temporary name. Giving a temporary name to the output column. That is what you use alias for. Giving a temporary name to the output column.
We can say the short name to
Yes,
understand.
short name also, yes. Now let's give it an alias, customer details. And it's not that you can only give these aliases to only the functions. You can give it to any other columns of a table also. So let's say I have written first name from customer. Okay. So that's
Is
the
it always necessary to write has, or we can just directly write the alias name?
you can directly write the alias name also. But the problem is, let's say if I'm not giving that, okay, alias, and let's say I've written it like this. Somebody who looks at the query, we get the output like this. But what happens when you're working on a project, multiple people will be working on those queries along with you, so they might get confused with this. So in that case, it is better here in case of column names, when we are giving a field list, it is better to give as. If you don't give also, just give a space, it will take that as a that as an alias. Okay, so it's a bit, I would say it's a good practice to give that alias. Is the alias clear now?
Yes.
Okay. Concat was one of the string functions that we did. We'll do some more functions. Okay. This is one of the strings. I'm not taking it from a table for now. Look at it. So this is the string, and I gave it an alias, so it became the column name, and I got the value inside that. Now here what I want to do, I want to count how many characters are there in a string. To count how many characters or number of characters. You can use this function called as length. Okay, this gives you the length of the string. Use this length So what I want you to do, um, create a column full name using actors first and last names, and in another column so I need two columns in the output. You understood length? Simply write length and give the column that you want to give the uh, length of. So let's say if I'm writing first name, right? So I'll find out the number of characters in each first name. If I'm giving like this, I'm just getting some numbers here. So the output is not very insightful. What will I do? I'll add the first name column also here. So if I'm adding the first name column as well, I get to know what exactly is it counting. So it's counting the first name, number of characters in the first name of each actor. I did it only for the first name column. I want you to give me uh, two columns in the output. Okay, use the actor table only. Probably concatenate their first and last name, and then in another column give the length of their full name. Can you try to do that? Instead of first name, I want full name in the output. I hope you got the question. Yes. I want the others also to do it and send it to me here. Nobody else did it? Error. Okay. You did not give a comma after the concat function. Before length, you have to give a comma because they will be two different columns. Like if you notice here, when I gave it with this first name also, I gave a comma. It's because of that you're getting an error. Can you check, Kayu? Ansar and Fazal, were you able to do it? Oh, okay. Okay, let me write your query here. What you have done here, let's say even after giving the comma, the first one is for concatenating. I need, look at it, I need in the other column, I need the length of their full name. How will it, in a length, when you are giving length, right, the function length, you can give only one column in that. So if I want the length of the full name, don't you think I should use it along with concat? So when I concat, giving first name comma last name, probably give a space also in between them. Length of concat of these. What did I miss? Is it me spelling error here? No. Oh, the brackets, I think I did not close the concat bracket. Yeah. Here, because I used for concat, I have given one bracket. For length, I have to give another bracket. So if you see now, the entire concat function, it's coming in the first name and last name. So first, I'll find out to answer that question. What will I do? I'll first give concat first name, last name from actor. So this is concatenated. After this, to the same function of the same value that I'm getting here, I want the length. So what will I do? I'll find out the length of this entire thing. So I'll copy and paste it inside the length. Here you have to use multiple functions together. Length and concat together here. You can give them aliases. So here it can be full name and this will be length. So that's concat and length. Did you understand the error now, Khayyum?
Yes.
Okay. I'll share this in the chat so you can just probably paste it beside the query that you have written and you'll understand the difference there also. Now this was about concat and length. There are some other string functions also. Let's finish as many as we can do today.
Is there any way that we cannot count the space word?
Oh, there is one function which will help you remove the spaces. You will remove the spaces and then count.
Hmm.
Okay, so we'll do it now. You'll understand it. You can remove the spaces from a given string and then count it.
Okay.
And there's no direct function. So let's say, and similarly, we'll have these string functions also. Go to the documentation. It's impossible for everybody to remember all the functions. So don't worry if you are not able to remember what function it is. Just remember the purpose. So, for example, can I find out the length of a given character? Can I combine different columns? So such things you can find out here in this. I'll share this link also. Like I said, I'll add it in the notes as well. But these are some string functions that you have. There are many string functions. We just did two. There are more to do. We'll do all those. Okay, so these are your functions. So we did concat, we did length. Now let's see some others as well. Um, Case. So if you see the first name from actor, here you have all of them in uppercase. I don't want it like that. I want all of them to be in lowercase. Then you can use the keyword lower. Okay, so all of these will be converted to lowercase when you use the keyword lower. Lower is your function there. What is it used for? To convert or to print the output in lowercase. You can also have all of them in uppercase. If you want everything in uppercase, you will use upper. Everything in lowercase, you will use lower. If you look at the description column, it has a camel case. A few of them are capital, a few of them, the first characters are capital, the rest is small. So I just want to convert all of it to uppercase. You can use it. There is no direct function to have it in camel case. What is a camel case? This. If- I can write as many words as I have, but all the first characters of the words, they will be capital. This is camel case. Okay, if I want camel case, there is no direct functions. Again, you'll have to use multiple functions together to get it like that. The direct functions are only lower and upper. These were simple. Did you understand what these are? So
Yes,
concat, length, upper and lower done. Now let's understand some others as well. Is it okay to go ahead? Does anybody feel overwhelmed? Too many things together? I need a yes or no.
I am good with this.
How about the rest of you?
I'm good as well.
Okay, let us proceed then. So now, if there are spaces in a given string, so in this database, there are no columns which will have spaces in the beginning or in the end. There can be some strings which have space. So let's say this is the string. Okay, space in the beginning, space in the end. So you have some space here, some spaces here, in the beginning and in the ending, not in between. The spaces that are there in between, those are required, right? So when we are writing any sentences or anything, first name, last names, all that, so we require those spaces in between. If I want to remove the spaces from the beginning and the end, the leading and trailing spaces, if I want to remove, there is a function called as trim. You can use trim. So if I write select trim and if I give it like this, it will remove the leading and trailing spaces. Any guesses on, or I want you to think of, how can I verify if the spaces were removed? Because in the output, okay, I can see that the first space is removed. But how can I verify if all the spaces were removed? Can you think of a way? One of the functions that we did can help us. Can you think of a way? How can we
Using length function.
using length function? Exactly. So if I find out the length of this given string, okay, the length of this given string is 18. Now after I trim it, this length should go down, right? This should not be the same number. So what can I do? I can use it along with trim. So here, length of the trimmed string. So I'll give names to all of these. This is the string. This is length of the string. This is so I've done a few things here. First, I created a string. This was the string which had leading and trailing spaces. Then I found out the length of that string. That gave me the length of the string. And then I trimmed the given string. Trim is the function that we are learning now. It will remove the spaces. Leading and trailing spaces means the beginning and ending spaces, if there are any spaces in the beginning and in the ending. Remove spaces from the beginning and end of the string. I first created the string, found out the length of the string, then I trimmed the string and find out the length of the trimmed string. So how can I verify that this was trimmed? By the number of characters in it. So first they were 18 with the spaces, now I removed the spaces. From the beginning and ending, from between you cannot remove the spaces. Okay? Did you understand this? What did I do here with trim? Can I do trim without length? Yes, you can do it. But just to be able to verify if my trimmed function is working, I have used length here. Did you understand this?
Yes.
Now, maybe I want to remove only the beginning space, that is the space on the left, or only the end space. I don't want to remove both of them. What can you do in that case? You can use ltrim if you want to use the space from the left of the string. From the beginning or from the left of the string. Then you can also have rtrim. Rtrim will remove the spaces ending from the ending or the right order of the string. Okay, this will remove spaces in between, cannot be directly removed. There is no function to do that, but the beginning and ending spaces can be removed by using trim, ltrim, and rtrim. Okay, so why did I not use some column from the table is because there are no columns which have spaces in the beginning or ending here, but this can be used like this. Ltrim, rtrim, it is similar to trim. Ltrim will remove from the left of the string. Rtrim will remove from the right of the string. We'll do one more function and after that we'll stop. Uh, there are 2-3 more functions that we have to do, that those we will do tomorrow probably. Okay, so this is trim, and one another very simple function is reverse. Any guesses what this does? As per the name, we understand the meaning of the word reverse. So what do you think it is doing?
Undo.
I wouldn't say undo. Any others that you can think? So this is a string function. So how would you undo a string? What would that mean?
Reverses the query function.
It doesn't
I mean,
reverse the function. The
the
string.
fun-
The string it will reverse. So let's say if the title is like this. Okay. If I use reverse, it will just reverse it. Okay. That is what reverse can be used for. No proper use case of reverse if it's used individually. If it is used with something else, probably we are creating some app or something, in that case we will add such functions. Very specific use case will be there for this reverse, otherwise it's not much used. Okay, did you understand reverse as well? There are more functions in this. Okay, what we will do substring and we will do replace tomorrow. The rest of it you can look at this and you can try as well. Even today after the session you can go through each of them, and if you want to try it by yourself you can do that. Click on the function, it will take you to its syntax. Okay, and you can do it. So while you try it, and if you're not able to understand any of it even after trying, you can ask about it tomorrow. Okay, did you understand all those functions that we covered today? Like how I sent the notes. Did you see I added a notes from yesterday for the like operator? Similarly, I'll add some notes for the data types and all the functions that we did today. Right? So you can take it from there. I mean, just probably revise. Okay, you will have the recording of today's sessions. I've recorded it. Any questions does anybody have? Or I can wrap up. All right then. Thank you. See you all tomorrow.
Thank you.
Last.